Hello everybody, I'm back to my YouTube channel. Okay, back to the book, She Who Laughs Last. And we're in, the title says, In the Pink. It's not that I don't adore home decorating. That love affair began at the dawn of puberty when I turned 12 and my two older sisters had vacated our big bedroom. Mother decided I was old enough to choose a new decorating scheme myself. Did I do a safe pale blue, a feminine pink, a slightly daring lavender? No, I went for a Mother Nature look, navy blue walls, think sky with bright yellow floor wallpaper on the ceiling, sun, brown painted floors, dirt with green throwers, grass of course, and to think Earth Day hadn't even happened yet. I was ahead of my time, way ahead of my time. Mother, being a gardener, thought it was dandy. She even helped me antique the desk and bookshelf. Remember that look? We used yellow paint for the base color, then brushed on dark blue stain and wiped half of it off. I looked as bad as it sounds. It looked as bad as it sounds. Green and yellow striped furniture. My friends made gagging sounds when they walked in the room. I've traveled the interior design halfway many times since then. My first apartment furniture consisted of one metal pole shelf, armed with shipping and handling green stamps, and a dreadful plaid sofa bed bought with a credit card. Next came the early 70s hippie look with oversized floor pillows in earth-tone colors, tans, browns, and rust. Did we really decorate with olive and orange? When it came to decorating, I found my best bet was paint. It was inexpensive, came in a zillion colors, and required no sewing, stuffing, or hauling. There wasn't any shade I wasn't willing to try. Dark green, pepperback, brown, turquoise, even feldspar. Feldspar, the dictionary will tell you, is something found in igneous rocks. But I'm telling you, this is not a color found in nature. Picture the deepest, brightest coral imaginable, then multiply it by 10. That's feldspar, a color one should use in very small doses, which is why it seemed the perfect choice for my tiny 6 by 7 foot laundry room. Never one to rush such projects. I waited until the night before the delivery man would arrive with my new washer and dryer to start painting. How long could one little room take? Anyway, the hardware store insisted it would cover in one coat. I popped open the can and gasped. Feldspar, my foot! This was flamingo pink. With trepidation, I poured it into the paint tray and was soon rolling it onto the walls. Flat and vertical, the color was more coral than pink, and I sighed with relief as I rolled and trimmed. By 1:30 a.m., I had finished 3 walls and was pleased with the progress, except for one minor point. It was going to take 2 full coats to cover the old paint. Filling up the paint tray for the last wall, my tired arm stretched the tray up onto the shelf that perched on the side of the ladder. Maybe it was the late hour the lack of sleep or too many paint fumes, but my next move was a terrible one. I moved the ladder, the forgotten paint tray, filled with a quarter of a gallon of bright pink latex, came raining down on my horrified head. If my mouth had been hanging open as usual, I might have drowned. Instead, the metal paint tray landed right on my chest, cascaded paint down the front of my t-shirt and jeans, and landed with a clank at my feet. Now the good news, for the first time in my natural life, I had used a drop cloth. On previous painting expeditions, I'd taken one page of newspaper and scooted it around the room with my foot, painting as I went. But because this laundry had a nice hardwood floor, I had wisely covered it with a vinyl drop cloth, a fact that at that moment gave me a great solace. It could have been worse. Had I been a married woman then, I would have called out, "Honey!" and some kind man would have come to my rescue. But I was a single woman when I bought that house, and the only other creature under my roof was my large cat, now perched on the laundry doorstep looking mighty curious. I know what most of us would have done. We would have stopped right then and there and gotten ourselves all cleaned up before continuing. But I was not about to waste all that paint, and anyway, I had a job to finish. So I stepped up to the fourth wall and smeared myself all over it, trying to make use of every drop of feldspar on my body. By this point, the clothes were a white off, so I wiggled out of them, turned them inside out, and dropped them into the trash can. I know what you are thinking. Does she always do her decorating projects in the buff? No, but when you live alone, you can get away with a lot. It was now 2:00 a.m. The first coat was complete, and would have to dry for 2 hours before the second coat would be applied. Certainly at this point, a sane woman would have taken a moment to jump in the shower and wash all the pink paint, but it seemed so pointless. In 2 hours, I'd be back into the mess all over again. I reasoned, so simply pulled back the comforter on my bed, pulled back the sheets, pulled back the mattress pad, and positioned myself on top of the mattress. The paint had only landed on my front half, remember, and it was completely dry by now, to boot. I set the alarm for 4 a.m. and immediately fell into a deep sleep. 2 hours later, I woke up on the first ring, rolled and trimmed with feldspar abandoned, then showered and dressed for the day, and was drinking coffee at 8 a.m. when the delivery man showed up at my door, appliances in tow. Despite my late-night latex disaster, I was going to have a lovely laundry after all. But later that morning, driving to work, a terrible thought came to mind. What if I had died in my sleep? After all, when you are single, weeks can go by before anyone notices you are not around. I could imagine my coworkers finally beginning to ask, "Has anyone seen Liz this month?" Until at last the police would break into my house and find a stiff, half-naked, pink woman with a starving cat perched at the foot of her bed. Gives me the willies to think about it. Ever since then, my color choices have been more subdued. A favorite being heirloom beige, which matches my aging skin perfectly.